First time I read about Sarbjit movie being made was when somebody forwarded me an article where Dalbir, the real Dalbir Kaur, was saying that she would like me to play the role. And I was like, really? So then I looked up, did more research about him, and by the time I met Omung, I knew him very well. And then Omung gave me some letters, some photographs. There was only one video footage. So I went about learning the Punjabi, and then we discussed how do we make a difference in his 23 years of his life. So we went about, we decided that, okay, let's let him lose weight so that, you know, his plight comes across even more to the audience. So that took me a lot of time and a lot of unhealthy things. So that was one part of it. And then I realized that, you know, what can happen worst in the jail was the tooth decay. So I went to Canada. Got him to make me a mold and send me 3 stages of his teeth. And apart from that, you know, I went through the letters. I made his thoughts mine. I made his words mine. I went through, I think I have written many letters which I have not sent to Omung and which I will never send because now I read them and I think they're too personal. I used to sit at home and in the chains and, you know, lie in my bathroom for a long time and write letters to Omung as if he was my sister, but I would address it as Omung. Sorry, Omung. If I feel, if you love me enough, I'll give you those letters. So I went through the whole journey of 23 years. I tried to go through the whole journey of 23 years of solitude, of the things. You know, the first thing I mean, what would a person dream about? What would a person think about lying alone in darkness for so many years? That, as I said earlier, was left to our imagination because that was not documented. So as a person, I thought how to make it real for myself is to try and go through it, through the starvation, through the solitude, through darkness. Your mind plays tricks on you when you're in the dark, man. You talk to yourself and all kinds of things happen. So I think it's one of the most prepared roles of mine. And it took me a few months to get the mindset. And Omung was actually going to shoot the Dabang village portions till he dropped the bomb on me before Diwali and said, I'm going to shoot this. So I had a very short time to catch up with the weight loss, but I did it. And somewhere that has instilled in me a sense of belief and a sense of my own willpower, which I think will help me in other parts as well. The hard part of the character, of course, weight loss and all that is something we had decided, and it took a lot of willpower to achieve that. But the hardest part of the character was the fact that a lot is known and documented about Dalbir Kaur. Not much is known about him and his prison life. So that, to keep it true and to keep it within the script and keep it as honest as possible and to go through the suffering he did for 23 years, where out of that 18 years, he was locked up in chains and was in a Kal Kotri. So imagining all that was the harder part. Everything thought I was an ass. Everybody thought I was an ass. You know, everybody around me had just had enough of me. I think it somewhere has affected me. I have to somewhere tell myself, there's a certain sense of gloom that has come about since this movie, and I have to keep telling myself, so that, look, you did not spend 22 years of your life in prison. You did not go through all that hardship. You did not go through solitary. There's something I have to keep reminding myself, and that has affected me, obviously. And, you know, with Omung and as a co-conspirator, it was very easy, and I feel that everybody in the cast has done a fantastic job. And I'm very proud to be a part of this movie. Thank you. Can I just add, because it's very selfish of me to take all the credit for my transformation. I think my makeup artist Renuka Pillai, who did countless hours of tests on me, who we tried so many things, so many ways of bringing about this transformation. She worked for free just for the love of the movie and love of the works that the challenge that there was there, and the kind of detail the God is in detail and kind of details she's done. I think it'd be very selfish of me to take all the credit for my presentation because she's really the person behind it, and to also tolerate my mood swings because I was always starving. So thank you very much, Renuka.
For me, I read the script. It took me about 2 days. And I understood the weight of my character. Of course, it's supporting these two primary characters. But my deep down belief is that, I feel like politicians have kind of failed to create peace. So it's only up to artists and musicians and writers. And honestly, it sounds very like whatever, preachy, but that's really my core belief, that it's only via films like these that we can possibly reach out and create some kind of this film is about the human. It's but but I'm really proud to be a part of this film.
You play his wife.
Yes.
And I mean, he's someone he's someone you love in the movie. And then you say you leave the fighting for others and all you do is intezar. So how is this?
I don't think it's meant like that. I think that line is said in some kind of sarcasm, and when you see the film, you'll know the context of it, because Talbir's character is really militant in fighting for the brother.
Ago, or approximately in that phase, being a member of the film industry, or the kind of wonderful privileges that being celebrity gives us, the opportunity. We don't even possibly realize the potential so often. We stand on so many platforms. We are a part and a voice for so many different causes, and we all largely make the time. We do all that we can in our capacity, and I say limited capacity because sometimes everybody forgets that we are largely artists. So our day in and day out, we are going on morn to evening. That's our office. That's our job. We're going, making movies, coming away. But then in the extra time, we're trying to definitely do all this as well. It was a letter that a petition that was going around to some of us who belonged to the public platform, one of them being me. And I too was amongst the members of the film industry, I guess, who were called. I know my father-in-law too had also signed on for the petition. At that time, not my father-in-law. And me, because that's what I was told. And the letter had come to me as well to sign on a petition, while possibly Dalbirji was trying everything possible to bring attention to work at his release. And the moment Omung told me, this is the story of Sarbjit, I had this expression in my eyes, and he said, Kya hua? I said, Omung, which is very him. So I said, Omung, this is some kind of divine calling. And of course, I will hear the whole story. But it was already a yes. I was definitely going to come on board because somehow he and his life and mine had kind of, albeit, like I said, just a petition being signed, but it had crossed. Our paths had crossed. And still, unfortunately, he did come back to India in a coffin. I had My ode and respects, and I was happy to come on board. But the power remains in what we had to begin with, and that's why we always say script. Hence, Utkarshini definitely deserved to be up here on stage. You know, when the writing has it all, and as a team we work together on set genuinely as artists. We all can come together and bring to life every day. This is one of those movies where the oddest answer I think anybody can give here saying is, it was a pleasure doing this role. Because that's something you cannot say. It's too intense, too disturbing on a daily basis. But as artists, I'm sure we all feel grateful to have got an opportunity to essay these characters and tell their story to you all, the audience.
No, commerce, physics, science, nothing is used over here. We made this true to the heart. What Dalbir told us, what her story was, we followed exactly that way. Okay, emotions run high because if you've seen her videos, she also does, you know, so I wanted to capture that completely, and that's what I had told Ash also, okay, this is what I look for the role. Sarbjit as a character, like Randeep said, we knew very less about, only the things that Dalbir personally had told us. So the preparations for the film was exactly like what if Dalbir was part of it. So we've stayed true to the story completely. We've not changed anything, okay? Because it's a written fact, you can see it, you can Google it, the dates, weights, everyone knows about it. So it's true to the facts. No, I mean, I've said this before also. It's not specifically designed that if one biopic runs, I'm supposed to make another one. It just so happened that Sandeep came with the idea to me that this is a fantastic subject, please have a look. Once I saw it online, I was so mesmerized by Dalbir Kaur and the story that I said, okay, I have to do this film. And it hit me somewhere, I said, my God, this is a hard-hitting story and a life that people know of, but they don't know the depth of it. And that's why I thought we should make this film.